Recording from Chester County, Pennsylvania, this is Coast to Coast Sports, your weekly breakdown of the Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Rams, and NFL teams from around the league. We're recapping last week, previewing what's ahead, and bringing you all the takes in between.
All right, welcome to the first kind of recap of a playoff game for Coast to Coast Sports. This episode is sponsored by Birdie Board, your all-in-one golf scoring app for matches, teams, and friendly competition. You can get it now in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store for free. So we're going to format this segment in two parts. You'll see Ryan's not here yet. He's going to join us a little later. So we're going to start off by just recapping the Rams and looking forward with the Rams. And then we'll end the episode recapping the Eagles and doing some predictions. So to start, the Rams had a interesting first playoff game. They kept things close. They seem to like to cause me to age a little bit every single time they play a game like this. They did win in the end, 34-31 versus the Panthers. But everything on paper said that it shouldn't have been that close to the game. I have some takeaways for this that I'll get into in a bit, but let's just go over some of the stats. So, good game, I think, overall from a stat point of view for the Rams. They had 304 passing yards, 57 rushing yards from Williams, but Corum had over 50 as well. So we had, as a team, over 100 rushing yards. Puka with 111 receiving yards, still being dominant. And then on the Panthers side, Young had 264 passing yards. Hubbard had 46 running yards. They did have under 100 running yards the entire game. And then Coker, I think that's how you say his last name, had 134 receiving yards. So I'll start with my initial takeaway. I I'm not surprised the game ended up being closer than it is. I think we've watched the Rams have talked about like all season long, and every single game that they've either won or lost, it seems like it's like a one-score game. So even though we talked about it on paper, should have been like a 10 plus point spread, doesn't
Yep.
really surprise me too much that it ended up being like it is because that's honestly just the Rams all season. And we'll talk about that with the Eagles. Is like I'm sure to some extent there's no surprise to how the Eagles season ended, but this
Yep.
has been the Rams. They are a very good team, but they find ways to let the other team stay in the game.
Yep.
The thing is the Rams pretty much find a way to win most of the time. So it is what it is. We found a way to win. It's playoff football. It doesn't really matter at this point. We earned the right to move on, and that's really what matters. So, did you watch the whole game?
No, so I saw bits and pieces, and then I watched the last drive where they went and
Hmm.
scored, and then I watched the highlights.
Yeah.
Um,
So, as you can imagine, what would you guess was the one of the worst parts of our game?
for your
N-
team,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a common theme all year. I'll give you a
well, your
hint.
special teams is one,
Yes, the special
which
teams was the main problem.
and give me more specifics. So obviously the blocked punt, that's the obvious
The
one.
block the block punt was the big one. Um, the we still resort to just kicking it straight out of the end zone every time. I think that's because we're playing scared and they don't think they can cover it. Um, we've had worse games for sure, special teams wise, but like that was another big reason why they stayed back or got back into this game is because they got the blocked punts because they on the next drive got a touchdown. So at
Mm,
that point, we were up 27-24 and then Carolina took the lead the next drive.
yep.
Um, I wasn't as concerned about our secondary, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Hmm.
Like Bryce Young put up 264. That's not a crazy amount of yards for an offense. Um,
I think
and we didn't
more
get
that
nearly
it's
as burned as we did the first time we played them.
it's more that it's from Bryce Young, right? I mean, I don't like how. seriously do people take Bryce Young as a guy who's going to torch you down the field?
Yeah, but would you call it 264 torching?
What did he put up
I mean,
against the
he had
Bucks?
basically a 50% completion rating.
No, so against the Bucks in Tampa, he put up 266. The Bucks
Yeah.
defense has been terrible this year. Um, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like again, how does your defense give up 31? Like I just wouldn't. That's where I was surprised. Like I predicted 38 to 21, and
Yeah.
so 34.
So,
Rams scored 34. Cool, they're right around what I.
well, so start
How
with
did the
this.
Panthers score 31?
Take 7 points away from the Panthers if we didn't have that block punt because they
True.
were, and now you're looking at a score that's 34-25. And then if we ended the game
24.
34-25, you're like, okay, the Rams, they controlled that game. They hit pretty much, nine
Sure.
point spread right at the spread. So it really came down to special teams again that really, I mean, how does your defense just gets put into poor positions? And then
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford having the interception at a poor point too didn't set the defense up for a good um, yardage anyways either because I think they scored right after that interception as well. Yeah, they got a touchdown after the turnover, and then they got a touchdown after the block punt.
Yeah.
Neither
And
you take both of those away or just turn them into field goals, and I think it highlights better that the Rams defense isn't really to blame for this.
you guys also went for it on 4th and 3 early in the game
Yeah,
at their 19 and didn't convert. So that was
right,
technically a turnover. So you guys had 3 turnovers
right,
between blocked punt.
right.
Um, yeah, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess part the analysis on this game is interesting because it depends on how good you consider the Panthers. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people, and I'm actually in the minority, probably with you, a lot of general observers watched this game and were like, "Oh, I they're no longer taking the Rams as like they should be the favorite to like go to the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl." So like a lot of analysts, I think entering the playoffs were like, "Hey, the Rams had a rough couple games to end the season. They had a real shot at the 1 seed. They really should have been competing for the 1 seed. Like they're going to go on a run and go to the Super Bowl." I think even though the Rams won, a lot of people were like, "Eh," like
Yeah,
they took the game that way because they don't take the Panthers that seriously. I think a lot of people
right.
Panthers shouldn't even be in the
So
playoffs.
people are,
Panthers division's embarrassing, like that type of stuff.
I agree, Panthers probably shouldn't be in the playoffs. Um, People are still remembering the Panthers as last year's Panthers, the general perception of them. They don't
Sure,
have nearly as much respect. I'm not saying they have the respect of like a top tier NFL team, nor
sure,
have they earned that, but they definitely have earned a little bit more than they have last season. And when I talk to people about the Panthers, I get the vibe that they're still picturing them like last year's Panthers. Two, whenever you do beat a team, you have some sort of thing figured out.
yeah,
And that's something to be hold on to for the Panthers. And as if you were a Panthers fan, you're like, okay, we beat them once. We figured out how to get to the Rams once.
yep,
And there is no guarantee the Rams like they can watch film and stuff and they can speculate and they're smart coaches, but there's no guarantee that they figured out 100% of like this is what the Panthers did to beat us. Like they don't have the game plan in front
sure,
of them for the
sure,
Panthers. So if they figured out maybe 80% of how the Panthers planned against them or 90%, there's still 10 to 20% of the Panthers game plan that's protected that they can take into this game and keep it competitive.
sure.
And then you throw that in, and then on top of that too, the NFL is designed to be close games. I think every
Yeah,
single playoff game was like one score games.
yeah.
That's how the NFL has been built. So you throw all of that together, and you're like, maybe the 10-point spread wasn't quite right to begin with.
Sure. I mean, if you're going just pure skill and an expectation of I mean, I think the line was fine. I thought the
Yeah.
Rams would win pretty easily in that fashion. I think no, and here's the thing: they just won a close game, right? I
Hmm.
think they're what's interesting in their season. is most games they won this year, they dominated. The games they lost were all close.
Hmm.
So just again, right? So like dominated the Cardinals twice. They well, you were at the Lions game. Was the Lions game really that close? Because I thought that the Lions scored a garbage touchdown at the end. It was pretty much over.
They
Like,
they got a they got a touch. So they needed two touchdowns in like the last
okay,
four
so
minutes.
so I don't. Even though it was a one score game, that wasn't a
Yeah,
close game, right?
right.
They destroyed the Bucks. They had a close game with Seattle, even though Darnold threw 5 picks. They destroyed the Niners, destroyed the Saints, destroyed the Jags, beat the
Yeah,
Ravens by multiple scores. So again, just an interesting note, like they're all of their losses this year were like heartbreaker, overtime,
yep,
let the other team come back, lose by a point, lose by 3 points. So you could argue, the argument could be made, like the Rams, when it's close, they lose.
yeah,
When they blow you out. It's one or the other, right?
yeah.
And
But
so
we proved, I think, in this game that
sure.
that's not always the case.
Yes. Yeah.
I do think the Rams have proven though is like we let teams back into games.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
Um,
Definitely.
it
Yeah,
just
they don't. The funny thing is, the Rams are wild because, like, you look at the Falcons game; they're down by 3 touchdowns. They can come back in any game. In fact, they
yeah,
will come back in any game,
right. I
but
agree.
they will give up any lead
Yeah,
at this point. I mean,
yeah,
they've proven that as well,
yeah,
um,
and it
which makes it
time and time
entertaining to watch.
again. I mean, the start of the Seahawks game, it looked like we were just going to run away with it.
Yeah,
Even the start of this Panthers game started off 14-0. Um, just in complete control. It didn't look like they were going to have any answers for us.
yeah.
There was some nuances to this game that were a little abnormal. Um, for example, the Rams aren't typically a heavily penalized team, and we had 9 penalties for 83 yards.
Oof, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yo.
There he is.
We
Trust
back,
the
boys.
eyes. You can't even see your eyes.
Come
Come
on.
on. Guys, I had 3 pairs of sunglasses. They're all girls.
It's because he's hungover from drinking his sorrows away last night.
Dude, still have a pounding headache. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
So we are starting with the Rams, going
Okay.
through pretty much all the Rams, this game recap, and then looking
Yep.
forward as well. And then we're going to jump into the Eagles.
So
What a
we're assessing a couple things. One, we were saying it's probably widespread right now that people are, even though the Rams won, a lot of people are maybe more tentative about them now. As like,
Yep.
not that they can't do it, but like, hey, you barely beat the Panthers. A lot of people don't take the Panthers that seriously. Corey was kind of giving a rebuttal to that of like, hey, the Panthers are obviously better than they were last year. It's in Carolina. So
They're excited. They finally made the playoffs since
sure,
what,
Yeah.
2017 or something like
And
that.
it was a home game.
and it was a home game, right? All true to all those things. I guess I don't know because I was okay. Were any of you guys was anyone not surprised by the fact that the Rams were losing with 2 minutes left and had to drive down and score to win the game? I think everyone was shocked.
To be
Yeah, I mean,
honest, part of me seeing the Rams, I wasn't surprised the Panthers got back into it because this isn't the first time we watched a game this season that the Rams were up ahead and seeming like they were going to control the game, and
Yeah.
then the other. So I'm sitting here at the end of the game. I'm like, of course, like this has been the Rams all season.
Mm.
Um, Now to your point, Mike, a lot of the season, I was thinking, I was like, oh man, the Rams are just going to blow up. They're going to lose this game,
The way you were
but they were
texting,
able
you
to
seemed
win.
demoralized. You're like, yeah,
Yeah, I was like this because we've seen it all season. This is us.
Ryan, we were saying the Rams, it's wild. If you look at their schedule, every one of their losses has been close. When it's close, they've lost. In the season, they lost 5 times when it was close. Close wins they had were the Texans week 1, right? That was a close game.
Yeah.
And I guess you could
The
say the
first
Colts
Seahawks.
week 4, and then the Seahawks at home. So you guys basically
I
had
will say that the Colts was a big win at the time.
it was, but I don't know
Yeah.
if it was necessarily was it. Yeah, it was close. I think it was close.
Yeah, it
So
came down to it.
you have 3 close wins of your 8 close games. You're 3-5,
Yeah.
and so that you could argue that's kind of the biggest struggle for the Rams. Actually, is if they're not up multiple scores going into late in the
Yeah,
fourth,
I don't know if
they
I would
struggle.
say the the box scores paint the full picture though, because there's a couple of those games that ended up not being close in the end because we get garbage touchdowns or something like that.
Sure.
Or at some point in the game it's neck and neck. So
Dude, I'm
I don't
telling
know
you,
if that
but I'm looking at your wins, Corey. None of these are
yeah.
close. Like,
Well, I'm saying in the end, yeah.
well, the Lions would have been the other close one if you
Yeah.
called it that. But I don't know. I didn't think it was that close. Look, besides the point, I think at the end of the day, they one, they got the win, so they proved in a
Yep.
situation where they had to go get it. As much as some people want to say, Panthers played the softest defense in the world.
Yeah.
I
They
would still
did.
Oh
argue,
my
like, at the
gosh.
end of the day, in the playoffs, like, you just have to go win the game, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and so they did, and they have the matchup now that we were talking about. I think was the preferred matchup is you get to go to Chicago. Sure, it's cold, but like, dude, I'll take a Bears team with Caleb Williams, and people are saying Ben Johnson's a genius. I just that Bears D, I just don't think they're good. I think they're gonna
Yeah.
get.
Yeah. So one of the last times that this situation happened with where like an 8 and 9 team was playing a lot better team was the Seahawks, and that's when the Beast Quake happened. So I
Yes,
mean, teams just they come out to play in the
sure.
playoffs, and the fact is, you just got to win. It doesn't always have to look pretty. I do think if we're starting to look forward, the Rams have a very good outlook, I think, for the rest of the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah.
I said last week I would have wanted to play the Seahawks. I thought long and hard about that. I want the Seahawks and 49ers to kind of duke it out a little bit before I think the Seahawks are probably going to win that game. But if
Corey,
I still go ahead.
what's your division? Is the NFC West?
yeah,
How good is the NFC West this year?
I know,
Three of the
right?
four teams left are from one division.
I mean,
Hmm.
it's no different, Ryan, than like 2 years ago or 3 years ago when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. They beat the Giants and Dallas lost to San Fran, and then the Eagles played San Fran in the championship.
Oh, 2022.
It's three NFC East teams.
I
That
wouldn't
was
say that.
that was Daniel Jones with
I
San.
think that the difference though is I wouldn't say like the Giants are as good as the 49ers.
The Giants suck. We beat the Giants 34-6. That was when we had a play caller,
Yeah,
Shane Steichen.
that
Oh,
game was wild. It
he
was
was
28-0 at half.
he was better than Kellen Moore. He was our best play caller since
Yeah,
Andy Reid.
he was good.
I miss Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly was good for 5 weeks.
I know until the NFL figured him out.
He was good for 5 weeks. 5 weeks, he was like, we have the best hot thing in the NFL. And
Hmm. Yep.
anyway, NFC West, what a division, Corey.
I
What
know.
a
I
division.
know. All right, so let's move forward. Rams versus Bears. I'm personally very excited about this matchup.
We have
I
a
I don't think the Bears are a legit team. I
agreed.
think we witnessed something with the Bears and Packers like we kind of did with the Rams Panthers. We're watching a home team in the playoffs for the first time after a very long time. They are motivated to play. The Packers, they are pretty banged up this year, losing Michael Parsons. Like it was set up for a close game. Um, and I don't think we could be having a better matchup in the divisional round. Like
Yep.
out of every team that made the playoffs, I think I would have wanted to see the Bears in this round.
I well, just a quick initial line.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. What is
Initial
line?
line. This is saying was 4.5. Bet down to 3.5 already. So early money on the Bears, which is fascinating.
Probably because of the result of the
Bro,
Panthers game.
the
Yeah.
Rams minus 3.5.
Mhm.
I just like I don't know. Like
All right.
again, I go ahead, Ryan.
Why don't you guys give me your reasons of why you think the Bears are fraudulent?
My biggest one is their strength of schedule. I
Okay.
don't think they've
Fair.
shown that they have beaten any legitimate opponents this year.
Hmm.
So real quick, coming down the stretch, they lose to the Lions. They lose in San Francisco. They beat the Packers in overtime. They beat Malik Willis when they were down, and they got an onside kick to beat them. They beat the
Yeah, that was.
Browns. They lose to the Packers. They beat the Eagles in Philly, who now we know are frauds. They beat the Steelers at home. That was the Steelers with their backup. That wasn't even Rodgers. He was hurt.
Yeah.
They beat the Vikings by 2 points in
Mhm.
Minnesota, barely, with J.J. McCarthy, who can't hit the broadside of a barn. They were losing by 10
Bad.
points to the Giants, and that was the Giants. What's his face got concussed, and they brought in Russell Wilson. That was the only
Oh,
reason.
Jackson Dart. Okay, all right, all
So
right.
They barely beat
Besides,
the Bengals with Joe Flacco, and they lost by 14 points to the Ravens before that. I mean, yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
all right.
I
So
have
go ahead.
one more
Go
thing,
ahead.
Ryan. So I said strength of schedule. Another key stat is strength of victory. This is the stat that says how many and what it accounts for the strength of schedules for other teams and their overall. So like it gives more value to beating like a 12-5 team rather than a 5-12 team. Their strength of victory was a .406. For reference, the the lowest is .33 for the New Orleans Saints, which just means they hardly beat any good teams, but the Rams are at .485, so they almost win half of their better games. So they just have the lowest strength of victory out of every playoff team,
Mhm.
besides the Denver Broncos, which is at a 3.78, which is interesting too, that I probably wouldn't respect them as much either. But those are my two biggest takeaways for the Bears. Is I just don't think they have
Okay.
proven that
So
they have
I'll add
shown.
two more. I'll add two more.
Go.
One, I would say, so defensively, their defense, it's been one of the best at turnovers, but it relies on turnovers. If you
It
do
does
not turn
rely
the
on
ball over,
it.
their defense is statistically like in the one lower half of the league, like not even like 16, 17. It's like 25, 26 in the league in terms of yards allowed, points allowed. So if you don't turn it over, their defense is terrible. Now, if they create multiple turnovers, different story. So then you're debating, will the Bears create turnovers or not? And then secondly, I'd say Caleb Williams is just too inconsistent. The dude can go make an unbelievable play like he did on that fourth down against the Packers. And you make the point, Ryan, at times like, okay, Ben Johnson is a great NFL mind, and he is. You're not wrong. Like, and it's similar to Shanahan in a way, but Caleb Williams, if you just look at his drives, if you watch him, if you look at the game tracker, dude, it's
Are
just
you
so
saying,
up and
Mike, to
down.
trust the eye test?
Trust your eyes, boys. I almost made a poster that said "Trust your eyes."
But like
We should
you see
change
what
the
I'm
podcast name.
you see what I'm saying with Caleb Williams. It's like, dude, he could have an unbelievable throw one, and then he could have a 4th and 2 where like why the frick didn't Ben Johnson just run it? I mean, they had 2 4th downs in that game. 4th and shorts, they throw it. Both terrible play calls. One is a high snap on a out of the shotgun. The other one, and they're both picked, and it's
Yeah.
just terrible decisions.
Yep.
So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much of that up
Yeah.
and down.
Yeah.
Those would be my two big issues with the Bears.
Mm-hmm. And no, I think you guys do make good points. I do like I'm going to pick the Rams in this game. I would have picked the Bears if the Bears played the Eagles 100%. I was ready to triple down on the push
I
up.
still think the Eagles could have won that game. The Bears are not that good.
But yeah, so I think the Bears' biggest advantage has been Ben Johnson, and now he's going up against Sean McVay, which you could say Sean McVay probably has the advantage. He has more experience. Play calling the past 2 years, I think Ben Johnson has one of the best records if you include his Lions. The Lions were what, 14-3 last year,
Right.
#1 seed. So, but I do agree totally with Corey's point and Mike's point. Caleb Williams misses the most basic throws I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This dude has like a 3rd and 3. He fires it 200 miles an hour. Like you can't
Yeah,
even
it's
see
wild.
the ball. And
It's
it's like
wild.
if it's not in the perfect spot, they're going to miss it. So I do think there's a lot of inconsistency. I like the Bears. The reason why like I would take the Bears spread in this is home field. It's going to be cold. I I just don't know how well Stafford does in the cold. He's played his whole career
In
in the cold.
Denver. I mean, Detroit. It's so cold in Detroit.
No, in a dome.
No, that's besides the point. He still has to walk outside.
Did
Okay.
you
Whole career.
I tried to
Home
make a
were
cold argument against him last year, dude, and he came out and played fine against the Eagles. He went up
Yeah,
and down that field in Philly.
just in the fourth
true.
quarter. They lost. And he had a pick and a fumble, right? In that game.
In the snow, like literally, it was torrential
Where's the
snow.
snow more than anything else? Chicago. You think it
I
could be
don't.
a snow
Okay,
game?
but
Dude,
now
it's
you're decking
supposed to be
on it being
14 degrees. It's going to be nice and warm and sunny.
So I'm telling you, the
14
crowd's
degrees is
loud,
wild.
home field advantage, and Ben Johnson and that O line can move people around. And the Rams are so edge heavy, and they're weak. Like what I noticed about the Rams is the Rams do like you can attack them outside the numbers. For some reason, if Caleb Williams is on and it just starts
Sure.
firing lasers to DJ Moore or Luther Burden, the Bears do have a legitimate shot at this game.
So
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, like Stafford's better, Devontae Adams is better, Puka's better.
yeah,
Like overall, like they should win, but you never know.
Yeah.
what's most likely to happen, because this is I mean, again, what we've seen in the playoffs, which is interesting. The trends have remained the same for most of the teams. What you do in the season ends up coming out in the playoffs. Well, what do the Bears do? They suck for the first 2 to 3 quarters, and then they wake up in the fourth. So the question then is, can their defense create multiple turnovers throughout this game to prevent the Rams from building a lead of like 27-6? Because like at some point you
That's
can come back
crazy.
from so many leads. Like if they're down by 3 scores again, they're not going to come back again. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to do.
Yeah, I was
especially
going to say,
week
let's
after.
not forget, it's not like they had a dominant win over the Packers. For the majority of that
Yeah.
game, it looked like the Bears were done.
And the Packers aren't that good. I did
Yeah.
like. Are the Packers that good of a team?
They
I
find
mean,
ways to win.
yeah.
I feel like they're well coached, but
The Packers
right,
defense
yeah.
is garbage ever since when Parsons went down.
Yeah.
Their whole defense just changed. Like
I mean, yeah, that was the worst fourth quarter collapse I think I've ever seen a playoff game, besides the Super Bowl with the Falcons.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. I mean, honestly, the Bears 100% should have lost. Did you see that? Did you see that throw by Caleb Williams on like 4th and 15 when they're
yeah, it
down
was
by
wild. Yeah,
scores,
rolling left. It was wild.
rolling left?
Yeah.
That Jalen Hurts not in a million years could make that throw.
Yeah.
Again, Caleb will miss a guy wide open 5
Yes,
yards.
this guy wide open. But like you kind of love that though. Like you kind of
Yeah.
love just like who the heck are you going to? It reminds me of Carson Wentz, to be honest.
Mhm.
Reminds me of Carson Wentz.
It kind of has those vibes, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Caleb's going to be that
And
successful.
what happened to Carson Wentz when he played the Rams?
He beat them.
And
did.
what happened? And what happened to his career after that?
He did beat them, dude.
We're not going to talk about that, but that was on our way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was. That's true. That's a good point.
And he was never the same.
He wasn't. He was never the same after that.
Right.
Anyways, all right. So we're going to transition to the Eagles.
Are
after
you
the
dealing
break
with
then.
nagging pain in your neck or low back? How about your shoulders or hips, elbows or knees? How about your ankles or your feet? At Restorative Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Thorndale, we're one of the only private clinics in the area providing true one-on-one care focused on relieving pain and restoring movement. Get back to doing what you love. Schedule your appointment today with Restorative Physical Therapy. Restorative Physical Therapy, relieve your pain, regain your life.
Welcome back to Coast to Coast. We are going to cover the Eagles 49ers game. I'll briefly go over the stats. Our Eagles fans here are excited about the outcome. 49ers winning 23-19. I'm not going to go through all the stats. I think the box score says enough. Ryan, I know you've been itching to kind of give us your thoughts. The eye test didn't lie. What are your thoughts for this game?
Lay the wood, bro.
All right. I officially want to change this podcast name to Trust Your Eyes. This is what I've been saying for 17 weeks. Here's this quote by Albert Einstein. If you do the same thing over and over again, you cannot ever expect a different outcome. All week, all 2 weeks, all I hear from people, you need to believe. You need to believe. You're negative, Nancy. Blah, 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 blah. And sure, Am I like that a lot of times with sports? Yes. But it is grounded in truth. It is grounded in knowing my facts and understanding how the game works. I have watched this team week in, week out, make my eyes bleed. I am so happy that this is over. I honestly, I had like anxiety during the game, and when Jalen Hurts had that pass to Goddard that was incomplete, I just had all this relief. It was like I was a kid again, and I was like, I don't have to watch this team next week. I don't have to suffer through this. And like, what's that other quote? It's like insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Oh,
It's so
certainly.
crazy.
Expecting different results.
Yeah, back to a different result. It's so crazy when you get like when I you get so wrapped up in something you have absolutely no control over. But at the same time, it's so fun to be a part of it and be along for the ride.
Mm,
And it's so painful when it hurts. So anyway, so the 2025 Eagles were exactly who they told you were, who they told you they were the
mm.
entire year, week in, week out. I went to the Raiders game with Mike and Matt and Noah, and Matt and Noah were like, "We're going back to the bowl. We're going back. We beat the Raiders." And I'm sitting there. I'm like, do we not realize who we are? And then last week, I was giving the Eagles crap because like they lost the Commanders. You guys were like, oh, it's their backups, but it was the same play calls
Mm,
that were the whole year. And I was watching it. I was like, it's just ingrained in the whole team.
mm,
And I knew it was eventually against a good team going back to bite us. And not only did
Mhm.
we lose to the 49ers, we lost to the 49ers B team.
yeah.
You did.
We had we had Michael Kendrick's brother, who was on our 2017 team.
Dude, their linebackers are garbage. They're so
Oh,
bad.
own us. I mean,
They're
did
so
you
bad.
see that last drive, the play calls? Did you see our scheme? I was sitting there. I was like, if we could have a Kyle Shanahan, a Sean McVay, a Ben Johnson. And the more I dig into it, the more I do think Mike is right with, I do think it's a way deeper issue because apparently it's a similar scheme that it was last year.
Yep.
Um, and you can kind of see that in the play calls, but I don't know if the players executed it better, if our O-line seemed unhealthy. But the idea of believing that this team was anything but what they told us week in, week out for 17 weeks was just unbelievable. Could we have won that game? Sure. But like we were going absolutely nowhere. Could
Yeah.
like the Seattle, oh my gosh, we would have no shot. Rams, no shot. But this is why I feared playing someone like the Niners because like it doesn't matter if I think we're playing the first defense ranked in the NFL or the last. We're never going to get more than 19 points. It just won't happen. We could play Tulane's defense,
Yeah.
19 points. JMU's defense, 19 points. But
Liberty.
Liberty, but if we face a really good offense, even that they're so depleted, the scheme will eventually get them open because by the fourth quarter, our D line could not get any pressure, and they were doing these little like these pick plays, and they were so well done. So anyway, long-winded rant, but the Eagles told exactly who they said they were. There's a lot of rebuilding. I'm so happy it's over. Yes, I'm sad. I'm still an Eagles fan. I love this team more than anything. I can't like, can you win a Super Bowl every year? No, you can't. It's not going to happen. So like I get it. I'm still grateful that, my team's not the Browns or the Jets or the
Mhm.
Giants. I still love the Birds with my heart, but this was as plain as day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We saw it all season long. We really, really
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I don't even though you keep saying trust the eye test, I don't think Mike nor I were sitting here saying the
No,
Eagles had a real shot. I
No,
think
you
it
we all
wasn't you
didn't.
guys.
saw
It was the Chris
it.
Burkholders of the world.
So, but if
Right.
you guys noticed, right, one of the big arguments I was making, I was trying to make as we were going to have any sense of optimism was not even talking about how the Eagles play. It was just if you get the right path and if you're
Yeah.
healthy and if things fall your way, you could end up, right? I was talking about you get the Niners team who's beat up, you pull out a win there, right? If they did, they go to Chicago, Bears, or, Caleb Williams is all over the place. you end up pulling out that game. Next thing you know, you're hosting the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Are you probably going to get wrecked? Probably, but like maybe Stafford got hurt in the divisional round. Like, you just don't know the way things will drop. So
or it could be like a
I
snow
was,
game again and just like completely
yeah, yeah.
wreck it. Yeah.
My mind always naturally goes to, okay, there's a problem. The problem is that the Eagles offense is what it is. Ryan, we talked about that plenty of times of like we'd be in text groups and be like, I think you were the only one who would back me up in acknowledging, or you would say it too. Like the offense is not going to change. Like anyone who thinks we're going to come out and this offense is going to look totally different, dude, you just don't understand sports. Like that's just not how it works. And people would even hypothesize. They'd be like, oh, dude, they're saving this stuff. Like, I think they interviewed Jalen. They're like, are you saving the running for the playoffs? It's like, no, dude, he would have been doing it at this point.
Yeah, they would have started doing it already. Yeah.
No, yeah. So my argument for why, right, and I was actually betting that we would beat the Niners was that I actually thought our defense would be better than it was. So the offense was just it was just all right. That's what the offense is.
Especially with them losing Kittle so early in that game too.
I was on that first drive when Quinyon redeemed himself. He had 2 picks in the game and he played well. When he got burned 3 times in a row by Demarcus Robinson, I was like,
I was shocked.
I have never seen Quinn. Now you could say he rested a week, and so maybe he just was like slightly off. I've never seen him get burned. I mean,
like that. Yeah.
In Philly, we consider him one of the top 5 corners in the NFL.
He was first team All Pro.
He's first team All Pro. Dude, he gets burned 3 times in a row by Demarcus Robinson. I'm going to say it again. A guy who was released.
He had 100 yards on us.
Who have a garbage receiving core. He wasn't even good enough to be part of a garbage receiving core. So he goes to the Niners, who are so desperate.
He was on the Rams for a little bit too.
Dude, he's not good. Like, I don't care what anyone says. He's just not a good receiver.
Yeah.
He should really be in the NFL, in my opinion. But anyway, like, I think Ryan was making a lot of points of, like, scheme changes a lot of things. And I agree. I mean, look, we saw it firsthand. Like, if you have a good enough scheme to get guys open, and Purdy's able to whip the ball in the wind, too, which was pretty impressive. I was sitting there like, dude, it's going to be windy today. He's going to be thrown in the wind against the – like, Purdy's not going to be able to – and we also generated very little pressure in most things. I was just shocked because when I watched the Bills game and when I watched most of the second half of the season, that's actually not what we saw from the Eagles defensively. Like, what we saw a lot in this game was not what we saw. I mean, you saw them get torched by the Bears, right? They ran all over them. But we didn't get torched by McCaffrey on the ground. Our run game was pretty good most of the game. I actually thought our run game held up. Like, you can tell we emphasized.
Run game was great, yeah.
Yeah, so the run D was good. It was like the pass, which was relatively shocking to me just because I know scheme can do all this stuff for you. I just thought, okay, we have enough talent and we have a good defensive scheme. They're not going to be throwing it all over us. And they did. They torched us on – I mean, they had at least 4 plays of 30-plus yards, which is insane.
At really key moments, too.
Huge moments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, that would be like my big takeaway from the game was actually – I know everyone was talking about the offense. It was nothing offensively. It was just very much surprised by the defensive performance and what ended up leading to even towards the end there, dude, they couldn't get a stop on.
The 49ers pulled out every play from their playbook. Like, they held nothing back. And what you would hope that any offensive coordinator would do once they got to the playoffs. But, I mean, they haven't ran a trick play like they did with Jennings. Hardly. I don't know if they ran it all year long.
What a stick.
Like, that's gonna get them points against a good defense like the Eagles. The fact is that's when you would hope that you're also doing the same back to them, which just wasn't happening.
Yeah, which we knew wasn't going to happen. What I think is important to dive in a little bit deeper, and I'm gonna stick to what I mean. Look, there's been so much we've throughout this season, we have tried to answer the question: what is the Eagles' problem? Who do you blame? Do you blame the offensive line? Do you blame Jalen? Do you blame Patullo? Do you blame Sirianni? Do you blame AJ Brown for whatever? Like, and AJ,
he sucked.
Rough game, man. Like he's no longer worth it.
Yeah, one of his worst games as an Eagle. Probably his worst game as an Eagle, given what was at stake.
AJ's not only bad with his hands, he can't even track the ball.
His blocking effort was so low too. I don't know if you watched him. Yeah, it's just like if he's not running a route, he's you might as well take him off the field.
Yes. Jalen threw that one ball down the field, and AJ just like the ball just fell like to his right by like half a foot.
And he didn't
I
even
just
like
don't
reach
I
for
don't
it.
think he
He
tracks
gotta
the ball
dive.
well anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think he like or maybe just lack of effort. So the Eagles offense will actually improve by drafting a young receiver early and letting Brown go. And
Did
I
you see
actually
the
think
report that he was like hugging all the players at the end? Like it was like his last day in
it's
the
a bunch
locker
of
room.
BS, dude. Like it,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've been watching him block throughout the year as well. He blocks totally half-assed.
Yeah.
So we've been struggling to run the ball. Well, dude, part of the issue too is he does nothing
Yeah.
blocking. I don't really think he blocks that hard. So but I'm going to go back. Jalen to me was the bigger issue in the sense of inability to see the field, inability to utilize complex schemes, the
Yes.
offense becoming dumbed down for him,
Leaving
so
the pocket.
can make it work. Yes, dude, he had so much time in this game, and he would leave the pocket early with so much stuff. Like, dude,
That's
stay in the
interesting you
pocket.
say that. So do you think Jalen Hurts could handle a scheme like McVay's?
No, I don't. I don't think. I think so. So here's the struggle. Here's the struggle. The question is, what did Shane Steichen do with him the year we went to the Super Bowl and lost?
I was thinking about that.
Because that was a dynamic scheme and it worked. But remember, Jalen perfected the RPO in that season.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
the
Second
RPO,
in
and
MVP voting.
yes.
Yeah.
And the RPO was what everyone struggled to defend because he would decide if he was going to hand off or if he was going to run it
was the
himself,
RPO,
or if
yeah.
he was going to pass it. And he did very well with it. Brian Johnson comes in, and who knows whatever the heck he did, dude. Totally messed everything up. So
Internal hire.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore comes in, and people think Kellen did something magical. He didn't, dude. Kellen Moore benefited from an elite offensive line, but his offense was just as vanilla as Petullo's. I really don't think Petullo did much different than what Kellen Moore did. I think Petullo dude, Kevin Petullo was on that offense. Go watch the highlights from the Super Bowl. Ryan, we watched it. Petullo's there on the sideline. He is there watching everything Kellen Moore did. I think he tried to mimic it, and it
He
didn't
tried
work.
to mimic it. Yeah.
Because
No,
the offensive line it wasn't the same this year. So when you can't run the ball, now you need more complexity in the passing game, and they didn't have it.
Yeah.
So
I do agree with that assessment.
It's fascinating how I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to make an adjustment personally until there's someone else besides Jalen. So I was the crazy guy who was like McKee, and people are giving McKee crap because of that game where he had Britton Covey to throw the ball to and a backup O-line against the Commanders starters. But like, I actually am like, dude, I think McKee could potentially understand the complexity of an offense more, see the field better because he's so tall. And he would actually have a better chance, even though Jalen's the MVP and people love him and are obsessed with him. I don't know if bringing in a Mike McDaniel or a great offensive mind to Philadelphia is going to make a difference because what's going to happen is they're going to get there. They're like, all right, Jalen, let's sit down. Let's start going over scheme. And Jalen's going to be like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. I don't do that. Oh, I don't do that. Or maybe he'll be up for it and they'll get into training camp and he'll try a bunch of stuff. And they're going to be like, dude, he just can't do it. He doesn't make that read. He doesn't see that. He doesn't understand how that route works with that. It needs to be simple for him to be able to see the field.
Yeah. And Corey, I think Mike is basing this off. So there's been multiple like reports come out about like Eagles that are connected, ex-Eagles, say like, hey, like Jalen can't handle a complex scheme.
Yeah.
And after the game, LaShawn McCoy,
I saw that.
Yeah.
You sent that, yeah.
Came out and said that. And he's very well connected. Obviously, he played his almost career at the Eagles. So I think that's what and like I kind of understand it. I do understand Mike's point, but that concerns me a lot for the future.
I mean, it's not like Hurts didn't have his struggles in college either.
Correct. He always has.
He always has.
His biggest struggle, even at Alabama, dude, he couldn't read the field. It wasn't even that he couldn't necessarily deliver a ball. Like he could always kind of deliver a ball if he needed to. Dude, he got benched in the national championship for 2.
He would do really well in like Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Dude, maybe it might be too much for him.
You think so?
I don't know how, and it could come across as disrespectful.
Those movements yesterday, man, that was fun to watch.
It could come across as disrespectful. He did well with Shane Steichen, so maybe what Shanahan does is kind of similar. I don't know. The problem is the Eagles are going to be in the like. If I had to put money on it, what's going to happen is next year they're going to be in the same general boat. Patullo's going to be fired. There's going to be a new guy there, and people are going to have to decide who are you blaming this time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because they're not just going to show up with an elite offense next year. Like, so that's going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Next year will be a defining moment for the Eagles.
Yeah. All right.
Really for
We went-
Jalen more than anything.
We went wild card loss, made the Super Bowl. Wild card loss, won the Super Bowl. Wild card loss. What's next?
Yeah,
That pattern doesn't continue forever, Ryan.
I don't.
5 years straight though. That's pretty cool.
The reason Phil, like, Eagles fans should be hopeful is Howie is truly one of the best GMs. Like, he will make it happen. It's going to be more like the pain of, like, we gave Jalen all that money. What do you do? Yeah, like, what do you do? That process of moving on.
How many years is left on Jalen's contract?
3, right?
I think it's 3. So
I think it's
after
at a 5-year after 22.
After next year, you'd have. Wait, or is he through 3 years? I think he's 3 years in.
Then it would be 2, right? Because it was a 5-year. Look it up.
He signed it in April of 23. So
Yes,
he's with the
after
team
the 22 season, yeah.
through 2028.
So we're about to do the 2026 season, then 7, then 8. So we have 3 seasons left.
Yeah, 3 seasons left.
Corey, any of your thoughts or reactions from the game or anything you want to chime in with?
I mean, the 49ers always play well. I don't care who's starting for them. We saw it with the Rams. They are just, I think it's a huge compliment just to their whole coaching staff that they can put in their backups and still find ways to win games. So it's a tough loss, but it's also one of the harder opponents I think you would have had to play in the wild card. I mean, you had 49ers, the Rams, or who was the other one? The
Packers.
49ers, Packers. Honestly, the Packers might have been the easiest team to play.
We still, to make a run, we needed the Packers to play the Bears so the Bears could beat them. And then, because if we did the other way around, I think the Niners would have beat the Bears personally. And then I think we'd be hosting the Rams. We could beat the Packers. We'd host the Rams and we'd lose in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
so, like,
regardless of the path, I'm focusing in on just this game. You didn't lose to a team that was an easy beat. Like they were beat up, but you were also playing one of the top coached teams in the NFL. So I don't think you're going to be able to part from Hurts. You're going to have him for the next 3 years or 2 years, and they'll cut him after his last year, or he'll be benched his last year, and someone else will come in.
I think it's 2 years of Jalen.
That's what I was thinking. You definitely have 2 more years of Jalen. They're going to bring in some new offensive coordinator next year. You may have a good season. You might make the playoffs, lose wild card or divisional, and then the next season, people are going to be like, "Okay, Jalen, you've had a year in this offensive coordinator. Now, this is your defining year," and that's probably where it's not going to hold up. Is that in what would that be, 2027 season?
2027.
So,
yeah. I bet that'll be the year people go, "Oh, it is Jalen."
Yeah. And it could be a really ugly year in 27.
I'm just like, I just want someone in the Eagles or like that plays for the Eagles or a coach to say something of significance. All I hear about is, didn't execute.
Are you surprised they haven't fired Petula yet?
Yeah, what are we doing?
It's not surprising. Patullo is good friends with Sirianni. They're buddies.
Hold on, Mike. Are you saying like we were not going to fire him?
No, they're going to, but like they're friends. So Sirianni's they're going to make it. They're not going to do it right away. They're going to take a little bit of time.
But like, can someone say something? I want someone to say, "Yeah, honestly, our scheme sucks. Honestly, we ran 4 hitches. We're idiots."
Here's the issue, Ryan. What if Patullo is like sticking to this dumbed down version? Like, what if there were times in training camp where Patullo actually tried? Like, making it like he can't say anything. He
Yeah.
can't
You
throw
can't throw
Jalen
your
under the
quarterback under
bus.
the bus like that. Yeah.
I do get that, but man, I would respect the ish out of him if he did.
Maybe
It
if he
would be
hits
a
a call
very
where he knows he's
Philadelphia
getting
thing to
fired,
do.
he'll just say it.
Yeah, that would be funny. All right. Well,
I still again general overall, I still think Patullo doesn't really deserve. It's not like he doesn't deserve it because I think he's just following the script Kellen Moore did, and when it didn't work, he didn't know what else to do, and
Yeah, yeah,
he's like gotten in his head with stuff, and
yeah.
he hasn't been
And
creative at all. So
I
he's
never want to
not really a
see
creative mind.
an internal hire for a coordinator position for the rest of my life on the Eagles. I'd never want to see it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
let's close out with this. Do you
Oh,
guys
we're
have
doing predictions, divisional round.
we are, but before we move on to predictions, who would
Yeah,
you want your coordinator to be?
Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel. It's not. It's
I mean, like of what I know, Mike McDaniel,
I mean,
100%.
he
I want Mike
Give me
McDaniel
that
just because
weirdish
he's
personality.
high 24/7. Like he's literally high.
He's
And
he's on a gummy
I've
all the
I've
time.
watched him in a locker room after they won a game literally glitch out. Like
Yeah.
literally he had a Gatorade in his hand and he was like, "Boys." And he just turned, like looked and he just spaced.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Coach?" And he's like,
And yes.
"What a win." It's like,
And honestly,
oh my gosh, dude, what is he on?
Mike McDaniel, he could be perfect because Vic Fangio, unbelievable defensive coordinator, not a good coach. Mike McDaniel,
Mhm.
unbelievable OC, wasn't the best coach. He might give another head coach if he goes to the
He's a great
Browns
offensive mind.
and
Yeah.
then waste his time there. I would I would give anything for Mike McDaniel. But he's interviewing with the Lions. That's bad
Ugh.
news.
To be OC,
BOC.
Wow.
heck, dude,
That would
why?
be a crazy landing spot for him.
That
That would
I would be
suck.
absolutely crushed.
Yeah.
We don't want that
Look
garbage.
look how good the Lions were last
I
year
know.
with Ben Johnson.
And McDaniels is
Unbelievable.
a good offensive coordinator. We saw it when he got to the Dolphins, and we saw it before that with the 49ers.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that's right. And like it's all that same coaching tree.
yes.
Yeah.
Real quick, too,
Like
Corey, I was going to say on the Rams, would you consider this season a failure if you guys lose to the Bears?
Yes.
I agree. If you
Yeah.
beat the Bears, I
not
don't
a
think a
failure.
loss in the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. I think at that point you guys are like, remember at one point I said you guys were S Bob, like Super Bowl or bust. I think if you make the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl, the season isn't considered a bust at that point.
Yeah.
If you were to lose in Seattle, close game. If you lose at home to San Fran in the championship, that might
That's gonna hurt.
that would
That's
be
gonna hurt.
that would be.
Yeah, but like yeah, and
But
then
if you guys lose in Chicago, I still would be like, dude, that's just so disappointing for a team. That I just because what's difference between the Rams and the Eagles this year is there were many games during the season where it was like, yo, that Rams team, that's a contending team. Like that's a team that has a legit chance to win the Super Bowl. The Eagles had two legit wins, like winning by a lot this year where they dominated. It was the Giants and Raiders. So the Eagles really never had a win where we were like, yo,
thank you.
okay, we
Yeah.
just never showed it. So it was like, okay, I mean, it is what it is. Whereas the Rams, I feel like showed it many times.
So we beat key teams throughout the season when they were considered the best in the league. So
Sure.
like I'm thinking back to like even when we played the Eagles and didn't beat you guys, at that point the Eagles were the top team in the league and
Yeah.
it came down to it in the end.
Yeah.
And then we beat the Colts
lucky.
early on and they were like the top team. We beat the Jags 35-7 and
You
they
guys
were
destroyed the Jags.
starting off really strong. Then we go and we beat the Niners and the Seahawks in back-to-back weeks. And then
Yep.
we go to the
Whooped them.
Bucks and beat them 34-7 and they were the front runners in their division at the
That's
time.
when it was like legitimately like, yo, the Rams are a contending team. Look at their roster. Look at how good they are.
Yeah.
It's a
And then we have a
disaster if
fluke
they
to the
lose.
Panthers, but then we come back and
The
pretty much
Panthers
control
were
the
almost their
Lions.
kryptonite. They
Yeah, they
almost
were
their
really
kryptonite.
were. Our worst losses were the Falcons and the Panthers, and then our other losses were just close games that just came down to it. So Yeah, I don't
I think you guys
I
need to
wouldn't
be
feel good if we lost to the Bears. If we were playing the Seahawks in the divisional or the Eagles in the divisional and we lost, I would have a different opinion. But I truly think we should beat the Bears.
yeah, you can't lose that game.
Yeah.
Ryan, let me know
Corey,
if you want to make a bet on the line. You getting
Corey,
3.5, bro?
Yeah.
who would you rather play in the championship? The Niners at
Seahawks.
home?
I'd rather
Really?
go back to
The
Seattle.
Niners are the better team for you to play, though. The Seahawks are, I think, a harder matchup, and they're a way better
So, Ryan, you
team.
got to remember first, the Niners make our stadium red.
So
True.
they're playing an away game in their
Yeah.
own stadium
And it's
against.
demoralizing. And the Niners have such a better chance.
That's
Like they just
that's
find
stink.
ways to beat the McVay. It
Ryan,
is a nice
imagine
matchup.
it's like choosing between the Cowboys and Giants. But do you want to
That's
host the
fair. I
Cowboys
would never want the
and your own
Cowboys, so I
stadium is
get
going to
that,
be
Corey.
full of Dallas Cowboys fans?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
actually
saying
unfathomable.
But it's even
from
worse
the
for the Rams and Niners. Like
yeah.
you guys are still pretty split. We're just playing an away game in our own home
Yeah.
stadium.
I'm just saying from like the trust your eyes thing, I think you guys will handle the Niners based on what I've seen.
I
But
think we probably would, but like historically, we play the Seahawks really well.
yeah,
Like we were
yeah. And
we were overtime away from sweeping them this year. We typically do sweep them from year to year. We don't have that happen to us with the Niners.
yeah.
So,
Okay,
especially
fair.
with just losing to the Seahawks, I think there's a higher chance that we would go in to play the Seahawks. And then also, I love, and I've said this a lot already, I love playing teams that would be happy if they lost. If Chicago lost next week, they would count that as a successful season coming back in, first time making the playoffs. If last week, if the Panthers lost, they're saying they finally made the playoffs again. They're deeming it as a successful season. And then if we go to the Seahawks, it's going to be the same case. Like make it to conference championship, finally getting some good hope in that franchise with Darnold. Like these are the types of teams I like playing because
Yeah,
they're okay with losses.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
And
don't think the
like,
49ers would be, to be honest.
Yeah.
yeah,
The only caveat with your matchup with Seattle is you guys won the turnover battle 4-0 and I think 3-1. And so you guys are up 7-1 in turnovers, but only like you won by 2 and lost by 1. So it's just the one argument which I thought was interesting is if it ends up being like a 1-1 turnover game, do you guys end up losing? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Unless you just trust your defense to create multiple turnovers on Darnold.
I don't. So yes, part of me do because I feel like the Rams are Darnold's kryptonite. He is a turnover machine to us.
Yeah, he is.
Um,
He threw
and
4 picks in the one game.
right, exactly. And we don't need to rely on our defense to win us games. We need to rely on our defense to keep us in games because our offense can go toe to toe with anyone. Um, I mean, we put up a lot of points on the Seahawks, and they have the best defense in the league. So I still think I would rather play the Seahawks, but either team, I think we would have a realistic chance of beating
yeah.
in the
And
conference
like,
championship.
Corey, you have to feel great. Like, I know the Eagles weren't great this year, but they still are a great run franchise, and they're
Yeah,
out. And
yeah,
now you have Brock Purdy, which I do really like, Sam Darnold and Caleb Williams
yeah,
in
exactly.
a
We
way. You know what I
have the
mean? Like
path. Yeah.
you have the pass. So it's like I mean, like there's no Lions this year. The Eagles are out. Like you guys have a great path, which is
Yeah.
exciting. But
All right. So
Quick
prediction
divisional round
time.
picks. No scores, just
Yeah.
points.
So here's the deal, Ryan. I know. Hey, you should have been at the podcast last week.
He's up 3.
W-
He's up 3
w-
picks now.
You're up 3 right
you,
now.
you guys need to accept the L and
Nope.
let's move on to next
Dude,
year.
beat us.
Look,
Beat
I
us
said
3
this
picks.
before the wild card even started, so it could have gone in your favor. The the thing we said is if one of our teams falls out, we're gonna start predicting all the games. So you have a 3-game lead on
7
Mike and
picks
I
left.
right now.
There's 7 picks remaining.
You're 22 and 11. Mike and I are both 19 and 14. Mike has a tiebreaker on me, because he predicted
Get
the
out of
score
here.
right.
You lost, dude. You
Nope.
lost.
So here we go. All right.
And I would hold the tiebreaker on Ryan if I come back. So I only need
Oh,
1 game.
I will
Yeah.
argue that if I do lose this at the end, I will argue this till
I
it'll
just
be
love
it'll
how
be on my
passionate he is
tombstone.
about it.
All
So
right.
Ryan has to pick first since he's
Yeah.
No, I'm done picking first.
Broncos, Bills. Who's your pick, bro?
I'm not picking first every single game. There's no way.
All right. We'll
Well, we
go
got Broncos,
reverse
Bills. We got
order.
uh.
So Broncos, Bills, Ryan.
Okay, so
You
here
go
I'll tell you what.
first.
I'll pick first. I'm gonna take the Rams over the Bears.
Come on, dude. That's fast.
Dude, I just
Oh.
went first. What are you talking about? I'm taking the
All right,
Rams
all
over
right.
the Bears.
I'm
That's a big
also
pick right
I'm
there.
also going to pick the Rams.
I am also taking the Rams. What if
All
I was
right.
like, I'm taking the Bears?
Yeah.
All right, now Ryan, are you taking the Broncos or the Bills?
All right, so you're making me pick the hardest game of the week. Which I understand.
Just pick. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to pick Denver in this game.
All right. I'm taking the Bills.
All right, I'm taking the Bills as well.
Oh my gosh.
There's one. That
There's-
gets us within 2, Corey. That gets us within 2.
All right,
All right.
Corey, you're up next. Niners, Seahawks.
I'm gonna say Seahawks.
I also pick Seahawks.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing.
All right. Can I change my pick
7-point
to the
favorite.
Niners? I'm changing to the Niners.
All right, he's going Niners.
Ooh, he's hedging his happiness.
Game 2.
All right, and then we won't be able to pick the last game.
Well, right
over.
now the Texans are up 7-3. So what we can say is, we could just say, do you take the winner of this game, or do you
Yeah.
take?
Okay, yeah.
All right, I will pick the Patriots. I'll go first.
I was honestly gonna say the winner of that game.
I think I like the Texans.
Yeah.
I like the
I
Texans defense to upset Drake May.
And the reason B
worry about
is
the
because
Texans.
they have the worst strength of schedule, the Patriots do, out of the whole playoff grid.
All right, so Corey,
You see
you
that
and I
defense?
have the Texans. Ryan has the Pats. Ryan basically just has all the favorites. He just went straight across the board.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
yours-
I'm gonna have a
brand. I
3-game
can't trust
swing
my eye
here.
test.
Yo, Corey did 3 different games. He could literally tie Ryan after this.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
Just
All
like
right.
that.
But then Corey has to go first for all of them, and I'll just match them. This is
But you don't have a tiebreaker over me. So the best
Yeah,
you
but-
could do is tie me in that case.
Yeah, but then our tiebreaker is our actual predictions for Rams and Eagles, which was the start of week
Guys,
1.
it's coming down to the Super Bowl. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. That's what we
Well,
want.
I picked
We
2
are
different
as
teams as
evenly
well.
matched as how the NFL creates their games.
This literally ended, and I knew you guys were catching up a little bit, but I know I picked the Niners, and when the Niners won, which predicted my whole Eagles, and I won this thing, I was like,
We
I felt great.
we never agreed that our predictions would stop.
No. And Ryan, dude, you missed last week. You should have been there. It was a big vote, and you missed.
I
the
was
vote.
sick as a
Dude,
dog.
I was sick as a
You
dog, and I
sick
was here.
too. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Hold on. If this was what we were doing, why didn't we pick every game all year long for every single NFL game?
Dude, there's too many games for that.
This is a perfect way to do it because now we're down to 4 games in the divisional round, 2 championship games, and the Super Bowl. So there's 7 picks left.
Dude, you still have a 3-game lead. Are you
Yes.
scared? Do you not
Relax.
trust
Yeah,
that
dude,
you know
dude.
football?
Corey, I think he's nervous. He's
I think
nervous.
he
he's
is
gonna
too.
lose the-
I know
Yeah.
Eagles Rams. I know Eagles Rams. The purpose of the podcast.
Corey, I'm just saying, if the Bills and Texans both win, I'm only 1 behind with 3 games left,
Yeah.
and I hold the tiebreaker over him. Talk
Yeah,
about
I think he's scared. I know. I think he
about
wants us to quit
pressure.
now because he doesn't think he can do it till the end of the season.
I just assumed it was over. I was ready to pick up my dub.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry.
I don't know what to say.
I can't wait until one of you guys win. Then I'm going to be like, we're picking AFL, Canadian football, spring.
Dude,
spring
if I
season
come back
game.
and win, I am wearing my chains. Oh my god! In fact, I'm going shirtless with the chains. I'm not even
I honestly, so Mike texted me about this, and I was going to like do some research
was
on
so
it.
mad.
I forgot. Dang it. Can I change? Oh, I'm going to change back. Just
Nope.
kidding.
Sorry, you're locked in, dude. Ryan, if you want to do any push-up bet on Rams Bears with the line 3.5, I'd be interested.
I will do 4.5. I'll do push-up bet.
Dude, the line's 3.5.
But it started off. True, but I want to do 4.5.
You seem like
I'm willing to do 4.5. And if you're not, we can still think on it as the week goes.
All right, I might still do 4.5. I don't know. I think the Rams are going to win by. I think they're going to win by like 10.
All right, boys. This was fun. Eagles, better luck next year. Rams. Corey, I'm honestly pulling for you guys. I don't want the
Dude,
Niners to win.
This is the only time of the year I'm not the only Rams fan. It's like if the Eagles fall out of the playoffs like they did a couple years ago, I get 14 texts that say, "Hey, cheering the Rams on the rest of the season."
Also, dude, we knocked you guys out of the divisional round last year, so we owe you cheering for you guys a little bit.
Yeah. I will say it is nice to like a team that like no one truly hates the Rams. It's like if I was a Cowboys fan, you guys would not for a second like jump on the Cowboys fans. But like the Rams are just like, yeah, okay, cool.
There's certain teams in the NFL I've realized I don't even know if there's that many fans, honestly. I think there are Rams fans. I think they're all in St. Louis, though. I don't think there's many in LA.
There's a ton in LA because that's where they were originally.
Actually?
Yeah.
Then why is there
Corey, you have to watch the Rams fans after they win the
That
Super
wraps
Bowl.
up this week's episode of Coast to Coast Sports. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share the show with a fellow football fan. From Philly to LA and around the league, we'll be back next week with more sports talk.